name is Shin, and this is week 1 of General Zod being released into the wild in Justice. To celebrate the occasion, I've decided to release a little video showcasing some online matches with the character. I'm also going to talk a little bit about how I think he'll be played down the road, the state of the game in general, with all the patching and whatnot, and yeah, just a little bit of my thoughts on some of the matchups that this character has. So let's get into the matches. Okay, first off, I wanted to reserve judgment on this game until the season pass was completed, because I bought the season pass together with this game, and to me that's the product I feel I bought, was the product that was to be released when this was over, and not the product that was released beforehand. I really saw that as a testing phase for this game, a second testing phase of this game. So there's a lot of jokes about banning the testers, but at this point in the game, we've all been testers to this game. And now the real game is out, in my opinion. And to me, I think that NetherRealm Studios has succeeded in creating a really good competitive fighter. I can play this game all day in its current version and not get tired of it. I think that really speaks to the quality of it. I think the best part of this game is that when you watch it played at a high level, you are seeing two people bring their comic book characters to life. And what I mean by that is, when you pick a character in this game, you're also picking a style. And the style that you pick originates from the comic books and that version of the character. How they like to fight in the comics is how they like to fight in this game. Their preferred style. And I think if you're a fan of a character, if you know how they fight in the comics, then you actually have a little bit of an advantage, which I think is a really cool element to this game. And especially if you're a DC fan like me, it's really awesome. Let's get into that a little bit more with General Zod. If I'm looking at General Zod as a character, let's look to his comic book version for some answers. He's a military general. Think Art of War. He's a strategist. So to me, when I look at his tools, that means that his gameplay is going to be very methodical, it's going to be very tactical, and it's going to be very reactionary. And I guess we can get into a little bit of what I mean with a character like Hawkgirl. Hawkgirl, to me, is a character that specializes in aerial combat. Now, nobody has really fully explored her potential yet. She's probably one of the least explored characters, to my knowledge. But with the tools that Zod has, I think he can fight her really well. I think she has a really good down one, but Zod's parry can really negate that down one if you're too predictable with it. And if you want to try to stall in the air with Hawkgirl, he can just snatch you out of the air with his instant air Zod charge. Zod has tools to take advantage of what the other player wants to do. He's a very reactionary type of fighter, in my opinion. See, like right there, I just saw her in the air and I just snatched her out because I knew she would be there. So he has the tools to take advantage of another player's aggressiveness, and he also has the tools to take advantage of another player's unwillingness to act or hesitance. And what I mean by that is his trait. With trait, once you activate it, you're basically buying yourself 4 seconds, where the player has to just stand there. And if they stand there at full screen, then you can force them to block a mix-up between trait grab, which is an overhead, and ground lasers, which is a low, and that's very dangerous, and it can set up a combo either way. So yeah, if you just sit there and do nothing, Zod is going to have his way with it. If you come in too aggressively and too predictably, Zod will also have his way with you. I think those are the two areas where he excels the most. This matchup with Batgirl is one of my favorite matchups in the game. And the reason why is because you have to play footsies with Batgirl at all parts of the screen. She has a meter burn teleport, which sets up a vortex, which I'm actually getting hit by right now. But the ways that she can land that teleport are, like, say you're a projectile character like Zod. If I shoot a projectile, she can reaction teleport and set up the vortex. If I jump, she can reaction teleport and set up the vortex. So you really have to be careful with this character, how you fight her. But I also think that she's very balanced as well. And the reason I think so is because her damage is very low. So one of the things that you can do against her is build a life lead, like I have right now, and just down back. Because if you hold down and block, if you block low, all she's going to want to do is throw bolas, which is what she's trying to do right now. Eventually she's going to get tired of that. She's going to try to dash in, which she tried to do and just got punished right there, or she's going to try to teleport, which is even more risky. So once she needs to get in because she's behind in life, her approach becomes very linear, very predictable. And it becomes really hard for her to set up this vortex that people are so afraid of. So I think the matchup is really fun. I think it's really balanced, and I like Batgirl's tools. She's really cool. You see right there, I had to clash to avoid the vortex. That's what I was afraid of. Again, like, that's what I had to prevent. And now she has to teleport, she has to take a risk, and I was ready for it. So there you go. I mean, you can also push block the vortex. I mean, there's ways around it. So, you know, I don't think there's any one strategy in this game that is all powerful that beats everything. I think it's up to the players to really counteract the cheap stuff in this game with their own cheap stuff. And I think it's better to worry about what your character can do and how your character should fight than to complain about others. Because I really do think this game is pretty balanced. I would say that the majority of the matchups are, if somebody's at an advantage, it's only a 55 to 60% advantage. And that's very good for a game like this. Hot Girl, again, I think that Hot Girl might have some really bad and really good matchups, but I think that those characters are really good. Batman is a really cool character to fight. He's a character that, when I think about fighting Batman, I think about two boxers in the early rounds, basically just feeling each other out, because that's what it is with Batman. When you fight him, you really have to learn the matchup, to relearn the matchup every single time, because every Batman player is going to play a little bit different. Every Batman player is going to use their trait just a little bit differently. And, you know, some Batmans are going to prefer to use his parry more. Some Batmans are going to prefer to wake up attack more. You know, it really all depends. So I think it's a really cool matchup and in a diverse game. And like, one of Batgirl's weaknesses that I was talking about, the linear approach, Batman doesn't have to worry about it at all. He has these bats, this trait that he can just get in whenever he wants, really. He can approach safely whenever he wants, like he just did right there. And that's really scary. See, now I'm in the corner, and I have to get out. But he's being very aggressive, so I parry right there to get myself out of trouble. Now, I've made a lot of mistakes in this matchup. I'm definitely not playing it correctly. But I am here to tell you that I believe that Zod does have all the tools to compete in this game at a high level. And I do believe that an alarming amount of the characters have the tools to compete at a high level. I would say upwards of 70% of the characters are pretty viable in this game. So yeah, I'm really making some mistakes here. Zod is a character that can control screen positioning really easily with his Zod charge, and he can. Aquaman is also a character that can do that, and I think it's really important to have good screen control, and I did not have good screen control here. I put myself back into the corner a lot of times, and I really just played very conservatively towards the end, and it cost me. But that's fine, because I enjoy. See, one of the ways I can really tell if a game is good is if I have a good time losing, because I want to learn from it. And this is definitely one of those games where now, in this version of the game, it's fun for me to lose because I feel like I'm learning something, and I know it's more apparent to me where I need to get better, because you can make just as many mistakes and win, and you can make fewer mistakes and lose. But it's easier to remember and to be inspired to change those mistakes when you lose. So yeah. If I were to talk about Zod's general strategy, how I think he's going to be played into the future, I think Zod is a character that's going to want to get better. And I think he has the tools to do that. He has the tools to take advantage of certain people that like to open matches certain types of ways, and get himself into a tactical advantage and have a life lead. And once he has a life lead, is where zoning really shines, because you can activate trait, and as I said, it basically buys you 4 seconds. And in those 4 seconds, you can shoot lasers, you can shoot Zod balls, you can build meter. And once the trait has expired, you can use that meter to buy more time for yourself by doing meter burn Zod balls and covering the screen with projectiles. And you're buying time again until the trait comes out, and then you can just keep this perpetual circle going where the opponent gets really frustrated and they really have to play kind of risky to get after you. And this is where Zod shines, because once you see that your opponent is getting frustrated and starts dashing in, you can instant air Zod charge him. You can parry his offense, his ground offense. You can combat the approaches that characters like to do. And to me, I think this is what you're going to see from top Zods in the future. And I hope everybody continues to learn and share information about this game, because I think it's really fun, and I think it will stay alive and continue to grow as long as there are DC fans who play fighting games. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned to this channel for more stuff in the future, and if I see you online or offline in the game, good games, have fun, and yeah, take care.